Feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Scribner, your host of the Shrimp Tank with my co-host here, Mike Keel. I'm in my Boston location. He's in his Sarasota location. And here at the Shrimp Tank, what we get to do is interview some of the best and brightest CEOs in and around the country. Today we have a really cool guest. It's a little bit different than our normal interview. A great guy that I was able to meet a couple years ago. His name's Joe Walker. He's the current NFL Inside Linebacker. He actually, believe it or not, has one of our Super Bowl rings from Super Bowl 52, unfortunately, but we won't hold that against him here on the show today. What we do here at the Shrimp Tank is we get to what we like to say is where book smarts and street smarts collide. We are featured nationally syndicated through iHeart. We have about 1,200 shows, which you can download at theshrimptank.com/Boston. We are available anywhere you can get your podcasts by Google, Stitch, Apple, basically anywhere. So with that said, I'd like to bring on Joe Walker. He's actually the first guest that we've ever had that he's inside a video game that we get to play often. It's in Madden. But what's really cool about the NFL career, like if you look at the statistics, Joe, and we would love to know what you think about this. I mean, roughly 9 out of 10,000 people ever make it to where you are, which my crude math tells me like that's 0.09% as a success rate. The career can be, 3 years. The average retirement age is 26. And a lot of people don't realize what a unbelievable athlete like yourself has to go through off season for potentially a very short period of time, how to manage the finances, how to position yourself and all that. But I want to dig deep into that. But again, thanks for taking your Saturday to be on our show today. And it's great to see your face.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show today. It's been a crazy year so far, but I'm happy that we can do something like this and get together and see each other. It's been a long time, but great to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
Joe, it's interesting. We're seeing a lot of, in the business community, people are having to kind of, shift the way they think about their business, the way that they're going to grow their business, the way that they're going to improve their business. Being in the NFL, how have you had to kind of shift, your business, what you're doing so that you can stay, keep your A game going?
Yeah, I mean, the off season is kind of the time where you shift that and you find new things, new ways to work out, new things to improve. This year's been a little different. It's been a long off season. Usually I have that little break where I can go to OTAs and play a little football, break things up. But this year has been long, so I found new ways to change it up a little bit. I've been playing a lot of beach volleyball, staying active. I got to stimulate my mind a little bit because everyone's been pretty much locked down for the last 7 months. So finding new little things you can do to kind of change up your routine.
That's good.
Yeah, Joe, most people don't realize, like in the NFL, everything for the most part that you do while you're on the field, like with the data, big data has been in the NFL for a long time, but almost every step that you make, every read that you have it's out there for someone to analyze. And I'm sure you as a professional probably take those tools and the things that you have available to up your A game and to just get better. But how is that different for you now compared to when you were an Oregon Duck and number one tackler that was on that team for a long time? But how does big data and you from a personal development perspective, like use all those tools to try to better yourself?
Yeah, we actually used a lot of it in college at Oregon. They had a huge sports science division. So that was kind of my first introduction into all that data. But I mean, there's not a step that you take that's not being tracked and traced. And they're trying to optimize the game of football, trying to make us better. They give you the information. They tell you how to improve on it. You can take it as you want. You can do nothing with it. You can do everything with it. So I think it helps guys out if they're willing.
That's great. That's great. And so tell me, like, just in terms of like when you come into the NFL, you're thrust with a lot of different things, like being like a lawyer with contracts. I mean, you have to be on your A game for almost all the elements that are being put in front of you. Is that something that you embrace, or do you like to just kind of set it off to an agent, or like what's the mindset around just dealing with the stuff that's outside of football that are business like?
I'm really one track with my mind where I'm focused on football, and everything else I have a team, you know, between my agent, my parents, my friends, my trainers that can kind of deal with all that stuff while I can just focus my mind on football. You know, I can't, if I'm looking over a contract, I don't know, you know, I need an agent or a lawyer that knows what they're doing to look it over. I don't have the time in the day, or honestly, like I just don't really want to, you know. It's a waste of my time when I have someone that I trust can do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. We spend a lot of time with CEOs, and one of the things that we talk about often, Micah and I, is in most cases, these folks know what their hourly rate is. And if they're gonna, you know, do their craft and spend their time, it's the most valuable time to be in that critical activity. But when they can delegate things or, you know, find people that they trust, like it sounds like you have been able to do, that really is very helpful for you, like you said, just to focus on your master plan, which is to become the best athlete that you can become.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be a contract lawyer, you know.
Right.
I'm trying to play football, so I gotta
Yeah.
focus.
Right. So go ahead, Micah.
Yeah, I was just thinking, so, you know, the window that you have, it's kind of like, you know, with a business, those crucial years where you really, you know, can hit your peak, and then you have to, you know, put the money aside so that you can either grow your business or that, so one day, you know, you can retire. You know, how do you approach that side of things, knowing that there's this window, there's this optimal time where you can, you know, do your best, make the most, and then, you know, go to that next, whatever the next chapter may be. How do you think about that type of approach?
Yeah.
That
I see it as a great opportunity. You know, most people make the bulk of their money later in life, and professional athletes, you get the bulk of your money early in life. So my main thing is I'm saving every dollar I can save, you know, making every dollar I can make, and then finding other people like that I trust and know, and then we're slowly moving that money around and making it work for me last, hopefully the rest of my life. But just gather all the cash I can right now, you know, save on, I've been saving pretty much everything, and then we'll dive into the next thing.
So, you know, you've been around the NFL for a long time. Are there any like key attributes as a well, maybe not even a business person, let's just say an athlete, but like, are there any key attributes other than God bless physical ability, which we know you have, and but in terms of a mindset, like approaching this particular job and profession, is there anything that stands out that you think is like critical, or you just focus in your own lane?
No, I mean, for me, it's just, I only have 24 hours in my day. The more I can put in there, the more I can put in it that's helpful towards my career, the better. I'm just looking at minutes. You know, if I'm sitting in the sauna recovering my body, I can also be watching film. I'm doubling down on it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to use every minute during the day to improve my game.
Yeah, that's great. And then in terms of like the off season and all that, do you try to take generally a certain amount of time to just get away from the sport altogether and kind of recharge your batteries?
My whole thing is I won't put cleats on the entire off season. I'm in the sand every day. I'm finding new things to do. Beach volleyball, yoga, you know, surfing, anything I can do that gets my mind off of football but keeps my body going. It really helps, because when you get into the season, it's 7 months. You're in the rabbit hole and you're football 24/7.
In the grind, just managing the stress.
Yeah. It really helps. The off season, I get my mind right to lock in for the next 7 months.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Mike. Did you have a question?
No, I was going to say, what would you say is, you know, your biggest fear about, you know, no longer playing football? What is one of the biggest things that, you know, is in the back of your mind that you think about every day that kind of motivates you to keep you going and working as hard as you do?
Yeah, I don't know what I would do. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't have another career. I don't have another passion like this. I've been playing football since I was in 2nd grade. I don't really know anything else. This quarantine's been kind of interesting because it's kind of given me a lot of time to kind of think of other opportunities that I possibly want to get into. But I've been so football from the beginning that it's tough. It motivates me to keep playing because that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
That's kind of like being in kind of in the money game, what we do, dealing with money all the time. It's like I couldn't imagine having to switch and go into another industry when you've spent the last 20 years, or you've spent your almost your whole life pretty much, right, in this, focused on this. So yeah, but I really like the point that you make, that you take that time to disconnect, because when you disconnect, even if you're just taking some time off from whatever business it is, you come back, you're stronger, you're charged up, and you're ready to go. So that's interesting. It's the same in sports.
Yeah, I mean, I have to. Sitting on the beach, doing activities on the beach is huge for me. I live right on the water, and there's nothing like it for me just to relax. It takes me a good month after the season to just like let a nice breath out and start enjoying myself again before I ramp it back up.
Yeah. And how does it feel, you're a California guy being kind of near the hometown crew again with the 49ers, and I love your new team and Jimmy G and how competitive they're going to be. How does it feel to be back into California, being a California guy?
Oh man, it makes me happy. I love it out here. It's expensive. It's crazy expensive, but I almost feel like you're buying a little bit. For me personally, I'm buying a little bit of happiness because I love it out here. There's nowhere else I really want to be. When I can see the water, I have my family here, all my friends here. It really makes life quite a bit better.
Yeah. And how does that, being in different cities, you played for Philadelphia, you played for the Cardinals and all that, is it hard to, run this career when, you're in different cities for different periods of time and plan, you're away from your family, your close friends, probably for long periods of time. Is that mental aspect of being an athlete difficult to deal with?
It is. I mean, it really is. You don't hear much about it, but when you're living 3,000 miles away from anyone you really know for 7 months, and those 7 months you're football 24/7, ups and downs like crazy. It's just nice being out on the West Coast. Arizona was great too, being out there. My family could drive out. Yeah, it's huge getting away from everyone. Yeah,
You're just in that bubble, really, like you said, for 7 months, and there's nothing else that can enter into anything else and being away from your family. It's probably going to be very different for you this year, just having some, family members that can show up at the stadium. Well, maybe they won't be this year.
maybe this
But
year.
yeah, I think, I'm excited that you're back home and all that. I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Joe, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was that I actually forgot what I was going to ask you as a question.
I got something I wanted to ask him. Joe, what are some of your goals this year? I mean, how do you set your goals when you're thinking about the season? Are they, do you give yourself the whole season? How do you prepare and say, hey, this is what I'd like to achieve this year?
Yeah. I usually go like a weekly goal. My whole thing is work. It's more about the practice for me than the games. How much can I put in during the week? I'm not worried about Sundays. I'm worried about if it's Monday, I'm Monday. That's all I'm worrying about is Monday. Like today, we're in today. I'm a huge fan of just being present in the moment. I have long-term goals, like I'd love to play this game forever if I could, but I don't know if that's a possibility. But I'm really focused on just being in the day. Let's win this day, and then tomorrow we'll do the same.
That's actually a really good takeaway, Mark. And I find that seems to be a trend. Anybody who's really good at something is they are present in the moment, and they focus in. So whether it's an attorney, whether it's a doctor, they just focus 100% on that moment. And that's what really kind of makes people rise to the top. I think that's good. That's a good tip for us to think here in the business world.
Yeah, and I don't know Joe extremely well, but the times that I've been able to hang out with him, he is such a humble guy. I'm wondering, like, you got all the spotlight on you all the time. I was just curious, like, how do you stay humble, like when you have all these eyeballs on you all the time?
Yeah,
Probably people pulling
appreciate
from you
that.
all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, I'm just
My
curious.
parents, man, my parents are amazing, amazing people. Um, they've been together for almost 30 years. My sisters, my brother, everyone, we're a close family. That's just the way I was raised. They just raised me to not, soak and bask in the glory, just be a normal human being. Be nice to people. It's not that hard.
Mhm. You'd be surprised. You see, meet all walks of life.
Yeah.
So what's going to be different for you this year? Like how, and if you can't talk about it, that's fine. But just curious, like, coming into COVID, the the proposals and everything are changing all the time. But what do you
Yeah.
think? Will it be kind of tough for you if you don't have the fans to pull from in a stadium and do feed off that kind of thing, or is it just going to be kind of
Yeah.
way
I
different
feed
deal?
off, I feed off energy of the crowd. Um, when you make a big play and the crowd erupts, you get goosebumps on your body. You can feel the energy. It's addicting. It's awesome, but it's going to be a little strange. I'm imagining it a little bit like practice, but you just kind of got to rise to the moment, and we're going to see how it goes. No, I don't think no one's ever done something like this, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Micah, do you have any more questions for Joe?
No, I was just thinking they're going to have like anytime somebody makes a great play, they're going to have the speaker system just go off like a crowd erupting to kind of keep you guys in the it's a virtual football. I mean, it's going to be really interesting.
We're going to have the DJ in the stadium.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know about that, but you have become the resident DJ of most locker rooms, I hear.
Yeah.
You and I exchange music back and forth a little bit, but
Yeah.
maybe that's the career for you. It can be digital media and stuff. But
Quarantine, I got really into the DJing. I thought I was doing pretty good, but the making of the music's the tough part. You
I
can mix
saw
up
I saw
making.
you had the two different digital boards and throwing
Mhm.
out some riffs and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it was fun, man. I could just sit here all day and mix music. I'm pretty much the TV doesn't go on often. It's just the music all day.
That's probably why you're so productive. There's no Netflix stuff that's out there.
No.
Yeah, and I just on that energy thing. I mean, I've been able to see you on the sidelines, like pregame, just the level of focus, like coming into a game, you throw your headphones on, you're so dialed in before that first kick is out there, and just the mental preparation that you have to apply. Like again, the average NFL play is only 4 seconds, so you've got all this preparation all week for just a very small period where you've got to be there for those 4 seconds. It's insane if you haven't been able to see it up close.
I'm trying to find that flow state. I'm trying to find that flow state in the middle of a game where you almost black out in a way, and you come back to at the end of the game. Like when it's rolling and things are going good, you're in that flow state. You're not thinking, things are just working. And then at the end, you can come out of it. And usually when that happens, you're pretty happy with the results.
And is that something, I mean, did you have that feeling back in Oregon, or is that something that over the years you've had to just fine tune as you get to the big stage? Or was that just always inherent, from you being a little guy and you've always just had that drive, you want to get it type of thing?
I mean, when you're flowing, I've had it. I've been working on trying to figure out how to get it. Sometimes it just happens. You have those games where you're just going off the charts. Having one of those games, it's crazy. I've been trying to figure out how I can put myself in that state throughout the week. It's not easy to do though. When you start thinking about it, it goes away.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. So for those people out there that have aspirations to be, a professional athlete and stuff, do you have any recommendations for some of our younger listeners that are tuned into our podcast? But do you have anything that you would recommend?
Yeah. I mean, I read this book probably 10 years ago called the compound effect. And it just kind of was talking about putting in this work and compounding. You're just compounding your interest day over day. And I started doing that kind of in high school, and you just one workout on top of the next, and you're just stacking stuff. And that interest is exponentially growing. And I think I'm looking at the day and I'm trying to grow, but that's how I think I found myself at this point, was just day by day, putting in work, compounding that interest. And you just got to work hard. You got to work hard and keep working.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any mentors growing up? Anybody that kind of shaped you, or other than your parents?
Yeah, my dad I look up to my dad more than anyone in this world, but I've had so many great coaches throughout my career from third grade on. I've never had a bad coach. Never had a bad coach. And these are people that you can look at differently than, say, a father figure, and I'm thankful to all of them. I mean, they've really changed my life in a great way. All my coaches throughout the time.
Yeah, and it's fair to say you are kind of like, this whole career that you're at it's almost by committee to a certain degree. You have so many people that you could look back on that have had a hand. Obviously, you're the person doing the work and doing the grind, but it sounds like, you have to draw on this big life committee that's been able to help you kind of realize this dream and stay in the dream too, because it requires a lot of patience, I think, from all the people that are close to you to help you kind of stay optimum all the time.
Yeah, when I was going through high school, I was trying to put on weight. My mom used to pack me these giant lunches in these brown paper bags, the big grocery bags. And I'd go to school with a sandwich bag, the whole bread bag full of sandwiches, and I'd be eating, trying to pack on weight. I mean, she packed my lunch till I was about 21 years old. So it's not my proudest moment, but yeah, it's definitely by committee.
That's great. That's great. Well, I know you have some commitments for the rest of the day. I just want to thank you on behalf of Micah and myself for taking the time to be out there. Can't wait to watch you again this year for the 49ers and all the great stuff that you've been able to do. And you can follow, is there any Instagram or social media stuff that you'd like to put a shout out for anyone to?
On Instagram, it's at WWJWD. And that's about all the social media I got. I don't go on it too much, but yeah. And I really appreciate you guys having me on here. It's great to see you, Mark.
Yeah, likewise, my friend. And be well, be healthy, and I can't wait to track you. I'm going to be sending you those texts on Sunday to go get it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Give me some good songs.
Thanks for the tips too. I like this. Stay focused, stay in the moment, and compounding. Whether it's in football or whether it's in money, compounding is an important thing. That's good.
That's right. That's right. Thanks again, Joe.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond.